change. We tend to look up to them. We tend to listen. So it's a really, really good way to start. And we're going to continue in that vein now, meeting one of my favourite sports stars of all time, because he is Chariots Offiah, the witness flyer. Martin Offiah, how are you? You well?
Fine, thanks. Yeah, feeling pretty good. It was great to walk in here today, and I looked around. I thought there's pictures of me everywhere. Then I realised it's Hugo.
It's Hugo, yeah.
I had to get that one in there for
you're
him.
far better looking than Hugo.
I'm old enough to be his dad, though.
Do you know something?
Yeah.
I just loved watching you play rugby, union, but mainly league. You're just such an exciting time for rugby league when you were playing, wasn't it?
Yeah, back in the 90s, played in that great Wigan team that won 8 consecutive Challenge Cup finals, and had a great day there in '94. And even when I went back to watch the Euros, England play, it's always nice to say to your friends, I'll meet you next to my statue. So that's always a plus.
Big old statue there. That's good. That's when you know you've made it. And when you think back to the mid '80s, and if someone said you actually in a few years' time, you're going to be having a conversation about the world being completely destroyed because we're really not taking care of it, and we're using too many fossil fuels, and the way we transport things is all wrong. It's not really that long ago, but the scale of the damage has been massive in that time period, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's something that wasn't really on my radar, if I'm honest. Back then, I was too focused on scoring tries and lifting trophies. But as we become older, we become more woke, more aware of things. And my journey into sustainability and electric vehicles came through another rugby player, a guy people might know, Andy Gomersall, who was part of England's 2003 World Cup winning squad. And he just gave me a lift in an i3 in 2016, so not that long ago. And that's what sparks me. And now I'm brand ambassador for an electric vehicle charging infrastructure company called Kerb. They're doing great things in the world of sustainability with the infrastructure, because we all know that, now that electric vehicles are great for the environment, but now it's the infrastructure, so that's going a step up. And, that's what I'm into, that's what I'm passionate about. And, I was once passionate about playing rugby, and I'm now passionate about sustainability, leaving the planet so my great-great-great-great-grandchildren can go to Wembley and see my statue.
The Chariots has gone electric. The Chariots gone electric.
The most electrifying man in rugby, I think is my tagline.
It's interesting, though, because it is a bit of a voyage of discovery, isn't it? Because they've been around for a while, but people still aren't trusting them. Why? What is the attitude issue with electric cars?
I take it back to the individual. We talk about the things that you can do, but it also... it's about our individual mindset. What type of personality are you? Are you a pioneer? Back in the old days, it took a certain person when we all thought the world was flat, to get in a boat and go off on a voyage. And so, that same kind of mentality is now. It took a certain person when the infrastructure and, was not as great as it is today, to say, OK, I'm gonna get an electric vehicle. Thankfully, I had a driveway, so I could put a charger on my driveway, so I knew that every morning I'd start with, a full tank of electricity. But when I went out on a journey beyond the range of my vehicle, I knew I was taking on something, which I was going beyond the norm. But I wasn't that scared. I knew that, if I broke down, then I'll just call the breakdown service and they would tow me to a charger. It is that simple. So we are going down this route now, so there's no need to procrastinate. You can do something, do what you can, focus on that. Even if it's, I can't get an electric vehicle, but you know what? I'll use my polluting vehicle less. You could just make that today and say, all journeys within a mile, I'll either use a bike or, I will walk. In the 40s and 50s, people used to say, Dad, what did you do in the war? Now I think in 10, 20 years' time, people are going to say, what did you do during the Green Revolution? What did you do, Dad? Why didn't you get an electric vehicle? Why didn't you do that? So these are the questions that, our children, our grandchildren will probably ask us.
Wow, your battery's fully charged on this. That's for sure. It's good, though. No, it's great, because I think we need to change our attitude on this, because there's that whole battery fear, isn't it? You're constantly looking at the... But you just plan out your journeys, do you? You just go, I might have to stop for an hour. So be it. I'll have a coffee, I'll chill. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I think to myself, my car's got a range of 200 miles, and whenever am I going to go more than 200 miles without stopping to go to the toilet, especially at my age now. It's too much information. But, you have to change the way... We have to be a different person. You have to change the way you think, get inspired. If you've got a desire to do something, then you're going to figure it out, aren't you? If you want to become Olympic champion and you're 7 years old, chances are you have to believe it to achieve it. I know that sounds a little bit corny, but I just want to get us to think that, everyone to be inspired and say, there is something I can do today. What is it I can do? Try and find out what is it that you can do, whether it's reading, whether it's talking to people. You can connect with me on social media. It's out there. You know, if you want to do it, you can do it. And that's the same with climate change. And it only has to be that first step. I say, just use your car less. That's it. That's pretty simple. But as I say, there's a myriad of things that people
You're
can
so
do.
right. Just be conscious of it.
Yes, absolutely.
If you can't afford an electric car now, yeah, they're expensive. Yeah. Maybe the time will come because technology is getting better.
But
Just be
set it
conscious
as a goal.
of it.
My goal is to get an electric car.
I love this energy.
Might need to put that above going to Ibiza or going to somewhere else.
Whoa. Come on now. No, I love your energy. Hey, do you know the other cool thing about electric cars? Because there's no drivetrain, right? The back seat doesn't have... The back floor doesn't have that hump in it. So when you have a load of kids, like I have, they don't fight. Because they can all put their feet, there's space for them. You know? And a peaceful car is a good car.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, I love your energy on this, and it's really positive energy, because I think that's the way we need to go. I've said it a few times. We got to stop this finger wagging, and we got to just energise people and make them positive changes.
The easiest thing in the world to do is to point at somebody else and tell them what they're doing wrong. But what can you do? 80% of daily journeys are 40 miles or less. So let's focus on those 80, and then we'll worry about the other 20% when we can, you know, rather than everyone talking about the one time in the whole year they're going to drive to Scotland and they can't use an electric car for that. Well, just take the train.
Martin, great talking to you. Loved talking to you. Love your energy and all your enthusiasm. Good stuff. Great to see you. Right, from a rugby league legend to a rugby union legend, one of the greatest Australian rugby union captains of all